We're gonna get into this. Again, salute to everybody who enjoy watching my videos and stuff and actually gain wisdom from this stuff. A lot of people like to tell you I'm deceiving y'all or I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I think those who actually take the time to listen to what I say and actually do their own research to see that I'm not making none of this shit up. But, you know, a lot of people who claim to be in the truth, so called truth, will go around, especially on the internet, telling you that America is Babylon, when that is far from the truth. America is not Babylon. And if you actually read the book and pay attention to what God is telling you, you will understand this, right? So, just to give you an example, when Babylon came and got us, we were took as captive. We were taken into captivity. Captivity means confinement. That means we weren't allowed to leave Babylon. We were banished from going back into our homeland. That is what captivity means. It's being imprisoned. You're not free. Which is why Cyrus, the Persian king, freed us from Babylon captivity. Are you following what the fuck I am saying to you? And excuse my language for cussing. We were banished from our home. We were prisoners in Babylon. You in America, right? You are free to leave America, black people. Nobody is forcing you to be here. So this can't be captivity when you are free to leave and go anywhere else in the world. Like Africa, since y'all claim y'all from there or think that you from Africa. Slavery is different. And it goes back to what the Lord said in Deuteronomy when he said you will voluntarily offer yourself as slaves. Now pay attention. Being a slave means you are owned by someone. You are property someone. And you are made to work hard for that person. That is exactly what America is today. America is a corporation. That's why you see a lot of business and advertisements everywhere you go. You see a lot of marketing stuff. It's because it is a corporation. Right? And in that corporation, you are the slave because you are the one that's doing all the hard labor. So before I go deeper into this, right, go to Exodus 1 through 3. What many of you don't know is that the Lord, God, you know what? Even though what I said is right, I'm going to just say how the book say. Jacob got a vision. You know what? No, because I want y'all to start reading. But anyway, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, him and his family went down into Egypt. There were people already in Egypt. Our ancestors weren't slaves when they first arrived in Egypt. They became slaves after a new king took over. And this new king wanted to keep our people as slaves because he saw that our people were growing in numbers and they got scared because they thought that if an enemy and all this other stuff come, they would try to join them and leave and do all this other shit. So he made them a slave. He kept them there. Why? Because to build their cities. To build their cities. Pay attention to what I'm saying to y'all. Right? To build their cities. To store things. out of brick and mortar. Now, in many Bible translations, they have a word called slave drivers. Slave drivers. So if we go to the definition of a slave driver, it is a supervisor, somebody put in charge, an employee that watches over you. Black people, sit back and listen, right? And I'm gonna get into other races or nationalities as well. When you at work, especially at these bullshit jobs like Amazon or the big three or whatever the case, you always got a supervisor constantly watching over you, making sure you doing your job. They always got y'all working past 8 hours or always working the weekend. Some of it is for little pay. So just for you to bring home a decent check, you have to work over 8 hours or work the weekend. This is what the Lord was talking about when we came to America, aka Egypt. He said you were going to work hard, you were going to work for little. So you working just to get that small paycheck when everything is so high. The price of living, the price of food. This is what God was trying to tell y'all in the Bible. So you always gonna have people watching over you. You are a slave to the government. They own you. Hence, Social Security and all this other stuff. Paying taxes. The job that you do, right? Some of that money goes to the state you living in, or it goes to the city you living in, which is like, city and federal taxes and all that. The health care that you don't even own, it goes to other people. Shit like that. You a slave. This is what the Lord was telling you. Now, just to go back, right? Voluntarily. You ever hear stories how a lot of immigrants come to America just to get paid under the table, just to get that little money that they pay them under the table from surviving the place they were just at? These people are voluntarily coming to America to be slaves, to work hard, to make that little money. Let me open your eyes to really show y'all what God in the Bible is talking about. This is exactly what's going on. People come to America to be a slave, to work hard for the dollar. Listen to what I said, for the dollar. And what's on the back of the dollar bill? The Egyptian pyramid. You sell yourself to these brands. You wear the brands. When you working at McDonald's, for example, or any of these fast food places, and they tell you to put that uniform on, when you step outside in the real world, right, you're wearing the advertisement for the company you work for. It's free advertisement. Babylon wasn't really doing this shit. Babylon just had you in captivity to where you couldn't even leave. You can leave America, but guess what? You still a slave. You gotta have a visa. Hope this is really making sense to y'all, right? And another thing, I kind of talked about this before. building the cities of Phemar and Ramesses. Like I said, your ancestors built Egypt. Your ancestors built Egypt. So when you looking at, all them places in Egypt, just understand your ancestors went through hard labor building those places, which is why God, the God of heaven, the God of Israel, the God of the Old Testament, said that when he fulfills the promise he made Abraham, he was going to give you parts of Egypt. And what is those parts? The parts where your ancestors built those cities. So as you can see, this is Jerusalem where Judah is at. This is really Judah. Israel is up here. So this is Judah with the capital Jerusalem. So, all of this from right here to all the way over there was the land promised to Abraham. Another thing I want to say to y'all, right? Again, just showing y'all more. Another thing I want to say to y'all, right? Damn, what the fuck I was gonna say? Like, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. It don't even matter. It don't even matter no more. But I just hope y'all gain some knowledge from this and understand the difference between captivity and slavery. America is not Babylon. I really want y'all to understand that. It is nothing more. Again, a lot of this comes from Hebrew Israelites who are trying to brainwash you and don't know the difference. Just like they have you believe there are 12 tribes still around. Stop listening to all these biblical scholars and all this other shit. Let me say this, and hopefully I make sense when I say it because I'm not a good speaker, so sometimes my delivery is off. We know that the book is for a certain group of people. So if you feel in your heart the book is not speaking to you, that means the book is not for you. That means that God is not talking to you. That's exactly what that means. If you feel in your heart the book is not for you, and I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it because you got stupid people who don't even read the book and they just automatically think that it's not for them. They believe in nonsense like talking to trees or they come from the sun and shit like that. But I'm just rambling at this point though. But hopefully y'all gain wisdom from this. I'm out.